8-bit gaming, 16-bit gaming. The third and the fourth generation of video gaming and the two generations that arguably made one of the biggest impacts within the industry. These two generations of gaming were so big they are still loved to this day, with developers still making games in these styles. So what happens when a developer takes these generational styles and makes a game using both of them? Welcome back everyone to a brand new episode. I am of course your wonderful and subjectively beautiful host, Drum Forest Drum. In 2018, developer Sabotage Studio and publisher Devolver Digital released the action platformer The Messenger. This game won several awards before it even got released, and in 2018 was nominated for Best Independent Game and won Best Debut Indie Game at the Game Awards 2018. Just so you are aware, there will be minor spoilers going into this review, so please bear that in mind. This is your warning. So what makes this game so good? What makes it so interesting? Well, let's find out today as I review The Messenger. The story begins with your character, a ninja who resides within the ninja village. There is a legend about the Western hero arriving to save them from the demons that are attacking the land. Suddenly, the Demon King appears and attacks the village. The hero arrives and saves the day, gives you a scroll and dubs you the Messenger. You must make your way to the top of the mountain to deliver the scroll. So that's how it begins. But oh my goodness, there is so much more to it. There's a whole lot of story involving trying to destroy the Demon King, breaking a curse, and a lovely little time loop thrown into the mix. I'm not going to say any more about the story as I would rather not spoil too much of it, especially since there will still be a few more minor spoilers going forward. It's entertaining as a story. It starts with such a simple idea, and then as it goes forward there are so many twists, turns and fourth wall breaks. The writing is really well done, and as a game it is very, very self-aware. As a story, I can't really fault it. The Messenger is an action platformer and is inspired by the classic Ninja Gaiden series. There are several stages that you must make your way through, each with their own enemies and bosses to defeat. You begin with your standard attack so that you can slash all your enemies, and an ability known as the Cloud Step. This allows you an extra jump after you attack an enemy mid-air, helping reach greater heights. As you make your way on your quest though, you gain further abilities ranging from shurikens to a glide suit, allowing you different ways to defeat your enemies and traverse the world. There are also upgrades helping increase your combat abilities. These include simple things such as defense, all the way up to more interesting things such as allowing you to cloud step when attacking projectiles. These kinds of upgrades allow you a lot of different ways to get around and reach out of the way paths. To get these upgrades, you collect these things called time shards, which is pretty much just the currency for this game. If you die, a little demon appears and saves you. His name is Quabble. Quabble? Quabble. I'm going Quabble. His name is Quabble. For saving your life though, he requires payment in the form of time shards. So, for a short amount of time after dying, he eats all of the shards you collect, and then eventually just goes away. He's an entertaining little guy though, who has a little joke and quip for every time he saves you. The game initially begins as an 8-bit linear action platformer, but partway through the game the story develops, and you then play in 16-bit using time travel. This is an awesome idea. You play in two eras, the past and the future. The past shown as 8-bit and the future shown as 16-bit. This is not all though. A little further on, the style of game changes, and it actually becomes a Metroidvania, in which you have to go back through different areas to find certain items, and using the different time eras to open up different pathways. The places you go are determined by solving different parts of the prophecy, which get told to you in pieces. The last main thing about gameplay are the power seals. These are green medallions found throughout the game, which usually require a difficult platforming segment to acquire. Once you collect all of them, you get access to a special item. So, overall, how is the gameplay? It's bloody good. It's really challenging at times, which really makes you see the inspiration from Ninja Gaiden come through. The combat is simple when you first look at it, but when you put everything together, it becomes pretty technical and very impressive. The problem with the gameplay comes to the changing styles to a Metroidvania style. This is because you have to spend time figuring out the prophecies, and then running around trying to find the correct place from those prophecies. And unfortunately, fast travel is quite limited. You can spend time shards to get hints on where to go, but that does not cut down on the travel time. It doesn't totally ruin the game by any means, and the story is still strong throughout it. It just really kind of ruins the pacing a bit. The music is outstanding. The music was composed by Rainbow Dragon Eyes and is done in two separate styles, one being 8-bit and one being 16-bit. The score is pretty much perfect for this game, to be honest. The different tracks used in different areas really represent the mood that these areas give off, and the boss themes are just as mwah. The brilliant thing about it is the flawless transition between 8-bit and 16-bit tracks as you travel between the past and the future. It is seamless and on point. The sound effects are brilliant, with everything and anything having a sound effect. It really shows that an effort has been made when the music changes in sound when you go underwater, making it actually sound like you're submerged. Now the graphics. What can I say about the graphics? I really don't think I can give them enough praise, to be honest. Both the 8-bit and the 16-bit styles perfectly encapsulate the feel of those generations of video games. The characters look brilliant, the detail is phenomenal, and the changes between the past and the future are done so spectacularly. Both the past and the future in this game have been designed so well. When you really notice the difference between the two time periods in each of the areas, you really notice the time and effort that the devs put into this. From the colours, to the designs, to the absence of people. Overall, I loved this game. I spent about 14 hours playing it and I found it an absolutely brilliant game, with a great difficulty curve, and once you learned how to do things well, you really felt unstoppable while still providing a challenge. Hell, yes, I died so many times, but nothing felt cheap. It often felt like if I died, it was my lack of skill that caused it. The change to a Metroidvania style partway through killed the pacing a bit for me, but it didn't ruin the game. So that was just one downfall in an otherwise great game. At the time of writing this, there is one bit of DLC for the game, Picnic Panic, and yes, I did play it. This was the interesting bit, as I did not actually enjoy the DLC that much. I liked that it decided to go linear again, but I found one of the bosses overly difficult and a bit cheap, and then the final boss of it had a novel idea, but it felt like it was just done as a bit of a gimmick. Yeah, it was funny to a degree, but just did not feel like it fit. Well, thanks for joining me today, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Did you play The Messenger? If so, what did you think? I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. If you've not played this, I really recommend it, as it is such a fun game. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can keep up to date on all my latest videos, and remember to drop a like. You can find me on Twitter at DrumForestDrum, and I shall catch you all next time. Take it easy, everybody.